we'd also like to thank Larry for coming. Thank you again.
Thank you, Angie.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to read through the minutes of the October 8th meeting? And do we have a motion to approve?
I can't because I was at the last meeting.
I would so move.
Okay, second? Angie, second? All right, all in favor?
Aye? Aye.
Aye, unanimous vote. Okay. Any public comment? None? Okay. The reports, I want to start off first. Council on Aging?
I'm going to be very remiss in that I did not have time to prepare a report, frankly.
Okay.
So I have nothing really new to report to the committee.
Okay,
I apologize for that.
that's okay. Ralph and the Council on Aging people do a great job, so thank you very much.
Between that and my work at the family pantry and so on, I just haven't had time.
No, that's okay. You do a great job. Thank you. Dan, anything from the Recreation Department?
Yeah, very quick note. I noticed in the minutes that I went through on the last page, there was a comment under other about a proposed patio at item B for the back of the building. Just want to let you know that the Rec Commission is going to be putting through a CPC article for a pavilion.
Oh, that's what you,
Oh, yay.
Okay, we're talking about a pavilion which would be located in the parking area, you know, where the gravel, not the parking area out here, but where the ball field is.
Oh,
over
yes,
that,
yes.
That parking area.
oh, great.
And it's gonna be a very large pavilion, and it's gonna be used for our kids during the summer programs, and in case of bad weather. Like, I don't know if you've been over to Kelly Field.
Yeah,
I
it's
have.
great.
Have you
Oh, it's
seen it?
awesome.
Yeah, you've seen the
Would
pavilion.
that work with what you were looking for?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
This one's gonna be at least 60-footer,
Okay.
huge. We're looking at a substantial amount of money through the CPC to do that, okay?
That would be awesome.
That's one of our priorities for the next phase, if you will, so.
What we might want to do, since we're at the meeting jointly, is see if COA and Rec together want to do that, and I could get in too, and then it's a building project which services so many,
So
because
that
the
if
seniors were
if the
looking.
three organizations can collaborate,
Absolutely.
okay, it's better to collaborate, okay, a project like that rather than have
Absolutely.
one individual department look for it. So I will bring that forth to the rec meeting at the next
Perfect.
meeting,
Oh,
okay?
thank you,
we
Ben.
can-
That's
we
you
can-
made our day.
You know, we can collaborate on something, it's gonna be a major project.
Yeah.
We're
Terrific.
looking at potentially $200,000 for
Wow.
this. It's gonna be huge, but it has to be, because you saw the one over at
Oh,
Kelly Field.
it's great over there,
You know, they've got a bathroom facility and they've got all kinds of things. So what he does, Dustin does over there, is when the kids he feeds them under there during
Right.
their lunch period and everything else for their playground program. And so it's a very valuable asset to Kelly Field. So we're looking at it, okay?
Oh,
It's
thank you.
something that we're thinking about at this point.
That's great.
And the other thing I'll very quickly report on, our CPC articles that we got for Brooks Park, we finally got an RFP on that, Larry, you know, the lighting and so on. So we're moving forward with
That's
with the CPC articles. We're looking at new pickleball activities as well. And we want to build a new full basketball court for the kids. And we're also looking at doing some other things in terms of Brooks to get it up to date. The CPC committee has already approved the new fencing around Brooks Park. Okay, so we're just waiting for an RFP on that. We're also looking for an RFP on the same RFP would be for a Memorial Field, senior softball field. They're putting up a new fence there. It's been up for 30 years. It's really in bad shape. So those two articles, those two CPCs are looking for RFPs at this point.
Are they putting a scoreboard up there?
We have a woman who wants to donate some money as part of her estate. We're not talking about a huge scoreboard. We're talking about one of these small electronic. When I was commissioner of the league, she sent me a note asking for some ideas, some projects to put forward. And so we gave her a list at the committee of capital project programs. And one of the projects we're working on the back here at the back of the field, the Bassett, we're going to
sure.
convert that into a major softball field.
Okay.
okay? And we have another person who has donated a substantial amount of money, which will give to the town to make that field happen.
Wow,
Okay,
that's
the highway
great.
department's
Lot
already looked
going
into it,
Yeah,
and so we got a lot of things going on.
that's great. All right, I feel better now. Okay, thank you.
So that's my,
Yeah.
Excellent,
Okay.
thank
Must
you.
be happy with the pickleball.
we're looking at four more steps.
Wow, that's great.
That's what we're looking at right now, so hopefully it'll happen.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
You know, we had 400 people involved in pickleball this year,
Yeah, I know.
this summer.
Yeah, no, it's very
400.
popular all across the
Unbelievable.
country.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that's where we are.
All right,
Thank
great. Great job. Yeah.
Do we need to vote on this, by the way? Should we make a motion to accept this?
That would be great if you want to do it during, we can do it because it's in the report section, so do you want to make a motion to?
I'll make a motion that we
Motion?
accept the report of the Harwich Community Center Facilities Committee
To the selectmen?
Okay.
to the Board of Selectmen.
I'll second that.
Second, and can we vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Okay,
Thank you, Dan.
thank you very much. Okay. All right, next, this is old business. Meeting with the Council on Aging and the library regarding programming. Carolyn, you want to give us an update?
I sure will. This was something that Selectman Ballantyne mentioned, that he had been to some meetings and we were talking about similar programming. So I had the opportunity to meet with both Emily and Ginny, the directors of the Council on Aging and the library, and we, also Emily Milan was there as well. We talked about the HEART program. Do you remember the HEART program, Angie? It was the Harwich Exchange and Action Resource Team. It was an informal group started and coordinated by the Harwich Public Schools and linked services and initiatives together. So we're looking to do something similar, not the same program, but we all were in agreement about that we would be working together and keeping each other informed, have like a monthly meeting, include the youth and recreation, so that we're making sure the programming is not lapsing in any areas or any demographic of the town. So that's where we are. It's been
Great.
successful in moving forward, and, you know, we're gonna just keep improving, so.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Okay,
Carolyn, if I may,
I'm sorry.
thank you for doing that. Jenny brought it up also at their board of trustees
Oh.
meeting for the library and talked about the same, so it's really great to coordinate the programs. The one subject came up was that she was having difficulty reaching out to the schools because of the tight schedules and so on. And my suggestion to her at the time was, and my same suggestion would be, to you would be to, you know, move ahead. I hate to see the action stop if you have difficulty,
Absolutely.
you know, and maybe build what you can, then we can, they
They
need to be
can jump
involved,
in.
but just not stop and wait for them.
I agree, yeah, well, definitely, and I'm sure they'll jump
Yeah,
on
they'll
there.
jump
Yeah.
Have you met with the principal or the superintendent to discuss any of this?
I'm gonna be honest, we just had this first
Okay.
meeting, so then we were putting together the list of players, so we'll reach out to
Yeah,
them
yeah,
for
good,
sure,
good.
so.
Yeah, they're trying to reach out. I was
Good.
just,
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to stop. because-
No, no, thank you.
No, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Carolyn. You want to give us an update on the increase in building hours here? And
So inside,
Positive
I
things?
put your newsletters here, and the very first page says, our hours are changing, and they've changed, here, Joanne. It is Monday, 6 AM to 6 PM, Tuesday, 6 AM to 9, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 6 AM to 9 PM, and Saturdays, 8 to 4.
that's great.
So, it started on the 8th. I'm in the process of training people.
You
So
got
it's-
help?
It's been such some long days, but we're excited to get it back up and running. So, we've reached out to our clients. We sent notices to all groups and organizations, and an email to everyone who used the weight room, who provided us with their email. And certainly, we've had a few people come in. I'm sure it's gonna catch on. This is also a busy time of year, but we know people are looking for it, so we're excited.
Yeah,
Now, this
thank
is for
you.
the entire building, right? To
It
open up the
is.
building. I thought it was the 15th. Originally, was it the
The
15th?
weight room opened on the 8th,
Yeah.
and programming opens on the 15th.
15th, so anybody who wants to use the room.
So it's open now.
It's open now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I thought it was the 15th, I'll have to pass
Today
that
is,
on.
isn't today?
Today's the
Oh,
12th.
today, no,
Today's 12th.
it's Monday, I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh,
Excuse me.
my dates are.
Excuse me, I'm
Of
sorry.
course.
If I could just add to that, I hate to jump in, but that should be a highlight at Monday's
Bob, can I
meeting,
call you? I'm in a meeting right
because the
now.
hours
Yes.
is a key interest, it's a cycle bring up over and over again. Can you do it?
Excellent.
Yeah, go to the house, she's at home,
Let's brag about
okay?
it.
If you want to. See ya, bye.
Okay. Yeah, that's great, that's true.
That's excellent point,
Yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
Yes, Van, I'm sorry, I feel like today is Monday because we had a day off yesterday, so I apologize.
Yeah.
Yes, it opens Monday for programming for clubs and organizations.
15th.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, this is great. And I know
So
a
we
lot
got by the custodian issue and so on, and representatives.
We're
of the-
working through it as best we can. It's not perfect, I'm gonna be honest
Yeah.
with you. And we're trying to have people use the same setup as the person before. You know, the thing is that people are happy to be back and we're happy to have them. And everyone's understanding that it's a little bit different. So I'll keep reporting how it's working and, you know, we're all using the vacuums and doing what we can to help out. It's part of what is the community center.
And is there a representative of the community center here at all times?
Yes, there's always at the minimum 2 people in this building. It's just too large to have one person alone. So there's always 2 people, and one person is always from the community center. On Saturdays, it's a community center and a recreation member. On most of the other nights, it's 2 members from the community center and maybe a recreation, depending on their programming. So,
Do we have to pay these people? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
they're
Do we have to pay
part-time.
these people a 4-hour minimum?
No, they're part-time
They're
workers.
part-time workers.
They're part-time,
Okay.
that doesn't apply.
Okay,
So,
all right.
What is the 4-hour minimum? To whom does that apply?
that is for overtime for any, union employee. So if a
Okay.
person is called in, they get a 4-hour minimum once they're called in.
Is it time and a half for the 4 hours?
I don't wanna speak out of turn because we have several different contracts, so I can look into that and get back to you, but, you know, you have to be at 40 hours before you get
Get the 4,
overtime.
right.
So if someone works 35 and they're, you know,
Yeah,
there's a
I hear
whole
you.
different,
Yeah,
so I don't wanna speak out of turn because so many different unions and that's not my area of expertise. I can certainly tell you about some of ours, but I can't tell you about the custodial, cause they work in different, for a different
I
organization.
hear you.
I'm not touching that.
Did I try and get out?
Too
But,
many union contracts.
They are,
And,
and so many different.
And I was just asking because of my former experiences as school superintendent,
Oh.
you know, about unions and about contracts and so on, so that's why I was asking whether or not there's 4-hour minimum stuff going on.
No,
Right.
and the employees that we hired are not in a union, they're part-time,
Okay.
so.
And are they CPR trained and so on
So the wonderful thing is,
necessarily?
that is a requirement, and we provide that for them. So we are very fortunate that someone in the recreation department, Sue Frazier, is certified to teach, so we
Right.
have her teach our employees.
Mhm.
So we're setting that up, but they will be, yes. And there is always someone in this building who is certified, always.
Now specifically Walter, the fellow that monitors pickleball and volleyball, I guess here,
Yes.
is he CPR trained and so on?
He works for the recreation department, so I'm gonna say, I would think
Probably,
yes.
Probably, yeah.
They check all of their members, but I'll make
That's a good
sure.
question, Ralph. I was gonna suggest that if you're involved with pickleball, those people that are involved with that should be certified. They should be trained and certified, Walter or anybody else. I don't know if Frank is. Do you think Frank is? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'll have to ask Frank.
But I know the recreation does a great job of making sure all their employees are, so I will confirm that. I do believe that, I don't know when his CPR certificate expires, but, you know.
Now, is
Susan-
he's paid by the town, Walter?
Again, he's
Okay.
through the recreation department,
Yeah.
so I don't know if it's a revolving
Well, I
fund
think
or
it
the
might be a
town.
revolving account.
I'm
on
not
that.
sure, but I can
Okay.
check
I
if
think-
you'd like.
No, not,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a revolving account that he gets paid through for his time.
Well,
Okay.
I just want to say, thank you, Carolyn, for pushing to get the building open for more hours.
Yeah.
And I think a highlight for the for the select board to know is that the community center and the school should be the focal point of your town, your highlights. So it's important to be open, so they gotta come across with them. Just,
You get that, Larry?
I wasn't directed enough, I didn't.
No,
sure I-
See, you get to say that. I don't
yeah,
ever get
I'm just saying, I'm just saying, yeah.
I'm a little biased when they
Well,
come.
me too, but, you know, I do think they play an important role in the town and keeping
I
the community
agree.
going, yeah.
And I will say, for the most part, I believe, and not just because he's sitting here, but I do believe we get support for the building from selectmen. I really do. I
Yeah.
think they understand.
Mhm.
They
The
hear from
importance.
enough community members
Yeah.
when something's wrong, so they know it must be going right all the time,
Right,
so.
right.
And I don't wanna speak for the selectmen, but.
We'll help them out. The next one has to do with the Halloween events, and before Carolyn gives her report, I just wanted to say, because I participated, and she does a phenomenal job of organizing all of that and all the different people, and we have a lot of fun. So I'll let you talk about what happened, what you had to do.
It was wonderful. The drive-through worked well. The police helping us with traffic made a big difference. We had several volunteers from all across the demographics of the town of Harwich, which was lovely. We had a young student who came to help, middle-aged, older adult. We had everyone, and it was just exactly what this building is meant to be. And we gave out over 320 Halloween bags. There were 4 different stations. There was candy and pencil boxes and prizes and toys, and the kids dressed up and they were with families, and Angie was a first station, so she can tell you, it is amazing to see all the people coming through from here who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
excited, and they were reconnecting with whoever it was. Angie, of course, had quite a few admirers, as she is so well loved in the town of Harwich. But it was wonderful to
It was
see.
fun to see people, yeah.
And they were dressed up and they were excited to be out, and there was so many, it was so polite. Everyone was so grateful. It was wonderful. None of it would be possible without the volunteers that we had. The staff did yeoman's work, and the community came together like I've never seen. You
Great.
saw the
Yeah.
the loot bags
Oh,
that were
gosh,
going
yeah.
out. There was so much stuff and some very big names. Zudi gave over $500 in candy.
Wow.
Some of the banks in town gave us checks to fill in whatever we needed. And then, you know, people brought in single bags. It was the gamut of what the community center is established for. So I'm always grateful. Thank you again.
Yeah, no, great job, you do a great job. The next one, fee information, you wanna give us any updates?
The fee information is, I have been going out and collecting data from every community center, not only on the Cape, but different ways that they do it, how people are charging, what they're charging, and I'll put together some information, but I do wanna set up our meetings to have, more than one meeting, a daytime meeting and a nighttime meeting, to have people come in and give input about how they feel the fees are. Currently, I think that we could be doing better. I think that one of the things you need to do is take a critical look at yourself and your operation, and that's really what I'm doing when I hear these other places. I in no way want to price anyone out of coming to the community center, but I also want to make sure that we're
We're not shortchanging.
we're not,
We're
exactly,
competitive.
thanks for,
We're
yeah,
competitive. Don't mean to jump in. but,
yeah, no, so
What
that's
are,
what
what
we're
are the,
doing.
what are the ranges right now that you're seeing based on your study, the initial study that you've done on this? The range of fees that you,
I have to say, I told you I've gone the gamut, not just in Massachusetts. So somebody had mentioned that in Florida there were quite a few, because people get together in clubs and
Right.
organizations. My goodness, they're so expensive in Florida. They charge you for every table that gets set up and every chair rental. I don't ever want to go there. That seems a little crazy to me. But I think that we're the lowest right now.
compared to the adjacent towns
Yes.
around us.
Yeah.
You can-
But that's hard to say because some give away some rooms. We don't charge a town organization to use a room, so clearly if the selectmen needed a room, they don't, the council on aging, they don't pay for a room. So those are not constituted inside of our makeup of how many groups and organizations we're utilizing. And again, that's something I never want to change. That's one of the reasons the building was built. But we do have a lot of outside organizations, some for-profits who want to use the building. It is a lucrative way to make money. I think that the town as a whole, and certainly the selectmen, need to decide, do they want to increase? Because that's where your revenue comes from. Yeah, I don't want to increase the groups and organizations. I mean, some, we haven't changed our fees in years, but the big money comes from letting for-profit organizations use your building. That's very clear from my research. So I'll present that and talk about it in meetings. And there is a need to have for-profit groups are looking for space right now.
Right, yeah.
But we still give consideration to nonprofit groups.
That's all we do right
Yeah.
now, unless it's I'm just saying that, I
Why
don't
don't
know.
you do a
if we're-
scale? Have you considered doing a floating scale for profits versus nonprofits?
Yes, and that's
And
what
you
we
come up-
currently
yeah.
do this. So there's, this board in the past has approved having driver's education because it met the requirements. It was an educational component. It helped the community. It was gonna be offered at a lower price, which that's an expensive
Oh, it's
thing.
awful.
So that, but they had to pay the for-profit price and they were happy to do that. So it was a win-win for the community and the organization. So we're finding more groups like that. I don't want to get away from the mission, and I don't want to take any space from nonprofits. But if we have rooms open, let's fill them and get some revenue.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
So,
That makes sense.
Have
That's
we had
what-
any complaints about excessive fees at all? Do you get any complaints?
Never. I haven't, and no one has complained to
Yeah,
me about the
good.
fees.
Good.
So it's a standard right now for nonprofits of 165
$165 for
for the year?
yearly.
Yeah, for the
And that's a
it's
lot of
standard.
uses, as you
Yeah,
know.
right.
When it was established, it was 104 uses for $165.
That's nothing, yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
So that does not mean you're guaranteed 104 uses. That means you can go up to.
Two.
So those are the things we're looking at. Maybe we need to lessen how many times you can use the building, but I'll put that together and we'll get an agenda. We'll discuss it here first before we have the open
Good,
meetings.
good.
And then we can bring information to the selectmen so they can make a recommendation on what they'd like to do with fees. If anything, they
Yeah.
might think it's perfect.
Yeah. I just have one question. You know the cultural center at the middle school? The old
I
middle
know it well.
school? Yeah, I know. That's part of the planning and planning for the, for rooms to be used? Is that,
So they're
or
two
is that two
very,
separate? That's why I was
two
gonna make
very
it keep-
separate
yeah.
organizations,
Okay.
so. Like if you paid for your room use here and we're full, you can't just go over
Okay.
there. People can rent over there, but at different rates. Like 3 hours at the cultural center is $100 for like the auditorium. And
Okay.
people do rent that,
Right,
so.
right.
So yes, they haven't combined them, and maybe the selectmen would like to. Again, I'm happy to just give the information and move on the path that they feel is, and all of you feel is.
Will you come in with a recommendation based on the report that you're going to give us, or do you want us to?
I want both to happen. I will probably hold back my recommendation until you've had a chance to
Okay.
talk, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and then, we'll listen to the public, which is a very big input to this, and then we put them all together, and I think that will probably be closer aligned than people think.
Okay.
That's good. All right, thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you.
Very good. Okay, director's update?
Um,
Want to give us any?
Excuse me.
I love to give you updates. The new
Oh,
business one,
did I skip one? I'm sorry, new business, I'm sorry, I skipped one.
I don't know if you've noticed in the
The new
hall
lights, I'm
how
sorry.
bright the building is.
Mhm.
They've been working here, they have just left the building, and Sean's not here to thank, but he worked with Rise Engineering, and we certainly have big, new, beautiful lights in the building, including the gym, which should be helpful to a lot of things that we had concerns about. It was a little dingier in there, and
Except when somebody hits a high ball in volleyball, we have trouble seeing it sometimes.
even with these,
They're great.
these are better?
Yeah, no,
Oh, no.
they just take some getting used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting used to them.
So that brings us to some of the building information. One of the great things is that we got new lights. One of the terrible things is we got new lights, because now, boy, can we see. We need some painting and so it's a great thing, but, I'll work with Sean on that. I know it's been on his agenda, so, but it does highlight some of the areas that we, we're 21 years old.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's good to have use. Okay, this is good. Any other updates that you wanna, before we move on, I'm sorry?
No, I'll go to the
Okay,
director's.
wanna go to the next, yeah?
Before we
direct-
do, can I,
Sure.
under the proposal for future improvements to the building,
Mhm.
you list a number of them. Yeah, as a matter of fact, there are 10 items on this, in your minutes. I'd like to add an 11th, okay? The exterior of the building is pretty dingy looking. It needs to be power washed, I think. That's my only comment on that. On the side of the
get-
building, it's very moldy looking.
Terrific, we'll put a work order in right now.
Now, let me ask you further. Many of the things that you're asking here as a potential proposal, could any of those be CPC funds that you might want to request? In other words, put a bundle together and request CPC funds to do some of these things?
I don't know what category that would fit in,
yeah.
because it's recreation, it's none
I
of
don't think
that,
you can cover maintenance.
yeah,
There's an issue.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
Yeah, I'm sorry,
possibility.
yeah, it's supposed to be for, yeah, but I think that in terms of the gymnasium, for example, I mean, that's a recreational facility, right? I mean, if you bend it a little bit, that
the
is.
bleachers and
The
the
bleachers in a
fans.
recreational facility.
The recreation begin unless my memory is unless the building was built with CPC funds initially to upkeep, you can't go back and use CPC funds for maintenance.
Okay,
I can certainly check
Or
on it
re,
too.
and that'd be maintenance to
Yeah.
replace that.
yeah, right. I'm just thinking about the recreational component of,
No, but
The
I still
bleachers
think
and-
I still think you're stuck with that.
Okay.
Agreed.
okay.
I mean, I encourage you to double check that, that's my.
Sure,
memory of
I
it.
will, I'll be happy to.
Get a sense.
But yes, and the power washing of the building, absolutely, it does happen. I know that we do the entranceway, so I'll
Mhm.
just extend what we need
Okay,
done.
good,
So-
thank you.
No, thank you.
Well, I just appreciate just an outside comment, looking at maintenance, because as you know, all governments, with no exception, tends to not keep track of maintenance, and all of a sudden we pay a bigger price.
Hmm.
And so that's excellent, looking at that.
Have you come up with any numbers in terms of, these proposals that you have? Do you have any estimated numbers in terms of what the building, what the bleachers would cost you to repair and so on? So as you go through this list, can we see some potential numbers that
Sure.
might be available to us that we can at least think about as we move forward?
Absolutely, and I certainly again, he's not here, but I work with Sean on
Yeah,
all that, so I
yeah.
will make sure that our numbers are,
Yeah, they're estimates.
Yep.
Get an
I'll get that
idea.
for the next report.
Yeah, just get a general idea of what all that was gonna cost. Where would that money come from if we did this, if we did some of the things that you're proposing? Where would we get those funds?
It would have to be budgeted through,
Budgeted.
yes,
Okay, so you'd have to put that in your budget,
correct,
okay, in your annual budget every,
correct. And then it would go through the,
your board of, the finance
Finance,
committee
board
and
of-
all that, right?
right,
Okay,
right.
got it. Okay,
So-
thank you.
of course.
Okay.
So the upcoming community center events, I have a few things. This is an event, but as you walk through the building, you're gonna see little baskets full of candy that we've put together, just a little thank you. It is Thanksgiving. We just wanna thank people who are coming in and, reach out. So we have that.
Have been cleared with the Board of Health?
It's packaged and you can, yes, you can process, we can trace back where all these went to. I know the rules.
top of it.
Wow, this is a tough crowd. Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
I thought the candy might make it happy. Wow.
It will.
Now I know
Take
it,
bags for the pickleball players.
At the last meeting, Ralph had asked about the number of passports per month, so I put that in the report for you. The Thanksgiving bags, the new hours, the heart, and Angie, you had recommended that I take a look at the Yarmouth LED board. So I did go over and look at it, and I reached out to get some information on where they purchased it and how much, and just waiting for that back. They've been lovely to work with.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah.
I'll keep you posted on
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Would, one, does the board have any interest in writing anything for the newsletter, introducing yourselves? Would you like me to write something about the facilities committee and when it meets and put it in our next newsletter? We are putting them out once a month. I did provide one for each of you. If you're interested in it, in me doing that, I'm happy to, or if one of you wants to write a
Why
little
don't
blurb.
you, why don't you,
Yeah.
I suggest, why don't you interview us and just get some highlights? Do a summation and put it in your bulletin,
Terrific.
okay?
But that should include some of the volunteers as well, I would suggest.
We do, if you open inside, we do weight room member of the month, and then on the back cover is a clubs and organizations, member of the month, organization. We can also do a volunteer too, we can add that.
You know what I meant to ask you too, do you print this out yourself?
Yes.
Okay, oh, that's.
We
all
only
that-
print a handful,
Yeah.
because ours is really digital, we send them out digitally.
Okay.
I just keep a handful for people who aren't computer savvy, who prefer a written copy.
No, they're
So,
nice, it's great,
Yeah,
it's
nicely
great.
done. Could I suggest something on this?
You certainly can.
Why don't we get the kids up at Cape Tech involved in their print shop to do things like this? For nothing, free. I mean, that's their,
They- They don't do any of that for free anymore. They
Wow.
used to
Yeah.
years ago.
They don't,
but
yeah, they
it's
do a nice job though, but, yeah.
It's,
I mean, you just pay them for the paperwork, the paper, you don't pay them for their labor, obviously.
They just don't do it
No,
anymore at all, right?
They're not, yeah, they
I
do
know.
stuff, cause I've
Wow.
had stuff done for out,
I mean,
nonprofit
our
groups
softball
belong,
league, we used to get a
but we had
lot
to
of
pay.
stuff done from them.
we still
for-
had to pay, but it
years.
was reasonable. But the
Right.
turnover time is the issue.
that's the
Yeah.
turnover.
That's where
We
you
put
gotta
these
be
out
concerned.
monthly,
Yeah.
and you have to almost give them a month, so I'd have to be
Okay.
ranking
I-
two.
Okay, I
And
just,
it's- Yeah,
No, it's a nice
we
idea,
did
though.
use them
just a
before.
thought,
Yeah.
like to
Yeah.
get those kids
Yeah.
involved as much as we can.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The COA will still use them for a while.
Yeah,
But again, the turnaround time is,
turnaround is this problem.
intolerable.
You know, they got state-of-the-art education up there that we pay for, so let's
Yeah.
use it.
No, it is beautiful, it
Absolutely.
really is beautiful.
The other thing on my report was just the next meeting is set for December 10th. In the past, this committee, if they had successfully gotten the selectmen their report, has taken it off for the holidays. I'm here, so it doesn't matter to me, but that's up to you guys. But that was what you did in the past. I don't know if you're still interested or you like to meet.
I
But-
suggest we have the next meeting in January.
Yeah, December's a hectic month for so many things going on.
Sure, so your next
Yeah.
meeting would then be, I just wanna make sure it's in the minutes, January 14th.
Okay,
2022, wow.
that's great. That's great. Thank you.
And my last thing, I just wanted to ask if there was anything that you are looking for from me that I haven't provided that I could provide for you.
All right,
I'm good.
I'm happy with what we got. I think it's a very comprehensive bit of information you're passing on to us.
Okay.
I think the minutes helped me a great deal, being absent the first time.
Great, great.
I mean,
It's great.
I thought it was very easy for me to read and to get a sense of what's going on, you know.
No, I know, I did ask Carolyn, about the mitten tree. Thank you for getting back to me on
Yes,
that, because
of course.
Carolyn every year also does a mitten tree to help the needy kids in the area, beside other groups too, so, thank you for doing that. And
So I did reach out to her again today. I was hoping to have the answer, but maybe by the time I
That's
get
okay.
back to my office, it will be there, Angie, and I can let you know.
Okay, now, is there anything that we can do to help you and make life easier for you? Because you work very hard and do a wonderful job with your staff too.
If we weren't on TV, I would tell you that I truly have the best job in the town. I can't think of a better place, and this board's been great to work with, but, no, I think that this is one of those times that I really think that we've been well-established for 20 years. It's time to take a really good, hard look at what we're doing and how we can improve. I don't think there's anything wrong with what we're doing, but we can do better. So that's where I am.
What is your, if I may, Madam Chair,
Oh, I'm sorry.
what is your relationship right now with rec? I mean, in terms of coordinating programs or interfacing with them in terms of programs and so on? Because they use the building as well, and you
Correct.
use the building, so how do you work this thing out so that?
So here's how it happens. Anyone who uses the building books through the community center. That includes rec and council on aging. So I interface with both of those departments and the cemetery, and Channel 18 on a very regular basis. The mission statement says that priority is always given to recreation and council on aging, and then I bring in the outside groups. So because of COVID, we were only booking a month at a time, with the exception of COA and rec. They could give me theirs for the year, because they're going to have first preference. When the hours were shorter, we were trying to fit more people in less time, so everyone was bending and being flexible. And that actually included COA and rec, because they came to the plate as part of the building to help make some solutions. So they would say, we could have yoga in the gym, so you could open up the multi-purpose room for another event. So I think our relationship is great. We formally have forms that we pass back and forth, but informally, I talk to each department in this building, I'm gonna say, if not every day, twice a day.
Good.
So,
Okay.
I'm just wondering if there are additional programs that we could offer some of our kids.
and that's what I think that HEART program
Yeah.
we talked about, it's not gonna be named
I
HEART.
like to see the kids very much involved, as I do
Absolutely.
our seniors, I mean.
Absolutely, and everyone in between
You
too,
know, yeah,
that's what we
exactly.
want.
I mean, from birth to death, you
Yes.
know, really. You know, I'm involved with the Cape Cod Senior Softball League, as you know, and we got 300 members, and I like to get those guys involved as well,
Right.
okay? We have a lot of talent and a lot of expertise in terms of the makeup of those guys. I mean, we got doctors and lawyers and carpenters and plumbers, and you name it, we got it. And I want to get those guys involved as much as we can to give back to the community. I mean, they use our facilities, and I keep on telling them, you got to give back as well, okay? Nothing comes free. And so as former commissioner, I just gave up the commissionership after 30 years, okay? But I still have a little influence with the guys, and I keep on telling them, you know, nothing is for free. You use these fields, and you gotta take care of them, and you gotta be, you gotta be responsible, and so on and so forth. So, anything we can do to help from that perspective, I will get the new commissioner involved and get him to understand that coming in here and using those fields that we have, and using our facilities, they have to give back whatever we need to have them give back. So, when you need volunteers for something, let me know. I'll get some of these guys out there to get going.
I
What do
sure
you
will, I
think?
think it's great, I think they'll see a
Yeah.
different side of the building too, you know.
You know, they
It's a
wanna
great-
use the facility, you know, for whatever. As you know, we meet quite a bit in here,
Mhm.
and I keep on telling them, when you finish meeting, you make sure you help the custodians pack the chairs up and you do the things that are right. Don't leave the place the way the way you didn't get it, so
Right.
we understand, and I hope they understand where we're coming from, so. They like being here in Harwich, so let's give back to our
Good town,
community.
it's a good town. Well, I
That's
think-
my little spiel.
That's a good spiel, I don't know if Larry had
Well,
any.
thank you. Now, any comment? Yeah,
I
Ralph?
have a specific issue
Okay. Oh,
with regard to the cultural center, the gymnasium, the use of that and so on. Who is primarily responsible, or is there joint responsibility for who uses it and when?
I would say, and again, I don't wanna speak out of turn, I think it's a joint responsibility. Preference goes to the recreation department, and Larry, if I'm saying something preference goes to the recreation department, which is pickleball, and then outside organizations, can rent it. I will say that one of the preferences, the selectmen and the town has made clear, is the futsal program that happens on the weekends. The free Detective Brackett does, which services so many families. And it's a free program, and it's been very successful. I know that the selectmen, in the past, and certainly the police department, everyone has been on board with that program. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Well, I have a specific issue.
Okay.
We are used to playing pickleball 7 days a week outdoors at Brooks Park. In the wintertime, of course, that's not possible. We are now limited to playing Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in the gym, pickleball in the morning for 4 hours each day. The gym is apparently empty on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have a lot of feeling now that we ought to be able to use it Tuesdays and Thursdays. Who makes that decision? And what are the factors that go into that decision, if you know?
I'm gonna say I'm saying I don't know, because I think that would be part of recreation. I do know that I have requests for the gym, so I don't know if it's on a Tuesday and Thursday. I didn't bring that paperwork
Right.
with me. But why don't I look into that, and I can have an answer for you?
I think you should have Eric respond.
Come in, sure, we can have,
Eric
yeah,
should respond to that,
Yeah,
Ralph. because
absolutely.
If there's a pickleball program, the recreation department really is the overseer of the
Yeah.
program, as you know. And I think Eric or Frank might be able to answer your questions. You're right, if the building is empty, why not use it?
That's what we,
Okay.
that's our place.
You know,
Well,
you got a
they-
lot of people looking to play pickleball.
Well, I
I
think
mean,
that
it's,
would be, the town administrator have a role too, because maybe.
staffing or,
Staffing.
security.
facility, Health
Yeah.
security, and the things that Carolyn had to work through to open up the building here, so
Mm.
maybe working through that. I think it's
Right.
good to bring an issue in, but
Yeah.
I think you need to bring, it's probably just not, it may not be as simple as just opening the doors because
Right.
it's empty.
Mm.
right.
But there's a growing feeling that we're being deprived of an empty gym,
Well,
so.
bringing out, just
Yeah.
saying there's factors that probably roll into that you need to,
Mm.
I'll get some answers for you,
I'd
so.
appreciate it.
you
Of
may want to
course.
talk to Eric about that too.
Of course, I got it right there. It's
Okay.
my first stop.
Good job.
How many people are involved in the pickleball in the fall, in the winter months at the building? Do you have any idea, Rob?
Well, I play from 8 to 9 or 9:30 or so, and there's always about 16 people playing 12 at a time.
Is it Harwich only, or is it?
For the moment, it's Harwich only, and I think some grandfathered folks who were playing in prior years.
Okay.
And there's some issues to why we can't increase the numbers by bringing in out-of-towners, as we do in outdoor sports.
Do Harwich folks get the priority in terms of use? Do they have a priority?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm not sure how many people play from 9 to 12, but I would suggest there's probably 30 or more. There's a record of that. We sign
Sure.
in, so there is a record of how many folks show up.
And then this is not an excuse in any way, but I do know that at the last meeting I mentioned that Erica Stresbeck, who ran the building, has taken another job. So I do know that, and the other employee that was working had left on maternity leave. So currently it's myself, and I know Walter is filling in. So there might be something to exactly what Larry was saying, the covering of the building and stuff. So let me look into it. We'll see
Okay.
what we can find out.
Because really, Walter just comes and sits there, does nothing at all as far as cleaning. During COVID, he was responsible for cleaning between sessions.
Of course.
And now he does nothing, and no aspersions on him, he's a nice guy. But the question is, why can't we volunteer or have paid mentors among ourselves to do the same thing he's doing?
Let me get you some answers.
Appreciate it.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
Good, sounds good. All right, well, thank you. Any other comments before we
I'm good.
wrap up?
Larry, do you have-
Larry, any comments?
well, I have a major question. What did you wear at the Halloween,
I was a witch.
Come on, Angela.
I was.
I was a domino.
No, my only comment is, I was asked, I met with Carolyn and Ralph on the sign-in meeting. I was charged with looking at this committee as part of our review committees, and I wrote a short report, very short. I shared with Carolyn, you can share that. It's a nice packet, basically saying that the committee does a great job, we need to keep going, provides valuable input, and that it doesn't interfere at all with the normal operation of the town. basically, I was concerned. And I
Thank you.
talked to you two, I had also talked to Joe, gave me the same information, so I think that should put that to rest, I hope.
Good, thank
We
you.
thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
And I know that Larry's report will probably be in
It'll
the
be
packet,
tonight.
but
It'll
if
be
you need a
tonight.
copy of it, if Larry's okay, I'll forward it to you.
Sure.
Now, are
Thank
you
you
gonna
very
go
much.
tonight?
I'm sorry?
Not next Monday, is it next Monday? that you-
Monday at 6:30.
Yes.
Yeah, for the report.
Yeah,
Okay, it's next Monday.
next Monday,
Okay.
6:30, and
Okay.
I'll be your backup.
No, You're gonna be there, I'll be your backup.
Anyway,
I'll try to be there because I have to be around.
Okay,
You know.
okay.
I gotta be with my wife.
Well, I want to thank everybody and wish you a happy Thanksgiving. But do I have a motion to adjourn?
I would so move.
Okay.
second it.
Second?
Mhm.
Vote
All
to
right?
adjourn? Aye. Okay, and we officially have adjourned.
Good
and
job,
we will-
Carolyn, good job,
Thank you,
everyone.
great job.
Angie,
Thank you.
excellent job
Oh,
on your
thank you.
meeting. Thank you,
Like
JLA
the
team.
classroom, right?
Oh, God.